Apple is set to do something very crazy or something really stupid this year. It depends on how you look at it. We all know that this year we are going to be getting the new iPhone 17 series, which is the iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max. But there is one other new iPhone that is going to be released this year that sparked a lot of curiosity, and that is the iPhone 17 Air. Now the iPhone 17 Air is rumored to be the thinnest and lightest iPhone ever, but before now we had no details about this iPhone at all. We had no idea of how the phone is going to look like. We had no idea how the design is going to be. Is it even going to be functional? Well, luckily I have some juicy details based on some leaks and rumors, so let's dive right in. Now let's start by talking about the design of the iPhone 17 Air, and you are probably wondering why I'm holding an iPhone 6s Plus. That is because this was one of Apple's thinnest devices. Apple's thinnest iPhone is the iPhone 6 with a thickness of about 6.9mm. Well, this iPhone 6s Plus has a thickness of 7.3mm, but guess what? The iPhone 17 Air is rumored to have a thickness of 5.5mm. That is 20% thinner than the iPhone 6. Now take 1 minute to digest that in. If the iPhone 17 Air is going to be very thin, even thinner than the iPhone 6, this begs a really important question. How durable will it be? If you look back to the past, when the iPhone 6 was released, the iPhone 6 had a lot of structural issues and it was very easy to bend. Almost anyone could bend an iPhone 6. And if the iPhone 6 is going to be thinner than the iPhone 16 Air, how durable is that iPhone going to be? I just really hope Apple learned from the mistake they made with the iPhone 6 and makes the iPhone 17 Air much more durable. Now, still talking about the design, Apple is actually bringing back the aluminum back, something similar to what we had to the iPhone 6, 7 and 8. But if you remember, Apple actually switched from the aluminum body to a glass body so that the iPhones could charge wirelessly. So why then are they planning to go back to aluminum? Now, this is actually very hard to believe, but there have been some leaks of the iPhone 17's casing and it might just be true. Now, this would only make sense if Apple has actually perfected a new way to enable wireless charging through aluminum bodies. But I still have one concern. With the iPhone 6, 7 and 8, pretty much any iPhone that had an aluminum body, they were all prone to chips and scratches. The moment your iPhone falls down, it will definitely have a chip or crack that just destroys your iPhone's finish. In fact, just leaving your iPhone in a case for too long could cause some of these cracks and some of these chips that look like a skin reaction on your iPhone. So I'm really hoping to see that we get a better finish on the iPhone 17 Air, and I just really wish this will not be the same case with the iPhone 17 Air. Now let's talk about the cameras on the iPhone 17 Air. The cameras are actually getting a fresh look from the usual layouts that we are used to, and we're actually getting a black glass camera bar at the top. Now inside of that, we get a 48 megapixel main sensor with a 2x telephoto zoom via software, something similar to the iPhone 16e that was just announced. Not bad for an Air version. Now there's nothing really special about the rear cameras. We've even seen something similar with the Pixel phones, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now moving over to the display, for the very first time, Apple is giving a mid-tier iPhone a 6.6-inch OLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. Finally, no more 60Hz in 2025. Honestly, based on Apple's track record, I was expecting to see a 60Hz refresh rate on the iPhone 17 Air, which would have been a huge disappointment, but luckily, according to some leaks, the panel on the iPhone 17 Air would be the same panel in the iPhone 16 Pro, which means we get good contrast and great screen quality, which I think is actually a good point. Now that you know how the iPhone 16 Air looks, how is it going to perform? Well, we'll most likely get Apple's new A19 chip with 8 gigs of RAM, which means better performance, better graphics, and hopefully Siri that actually listens on the first try. Now there are some things about the new iPhone 17 Air that just makes you want to think like Apple doesn't really know what they are doing. There are some weird things about this new iPhone 17 Air, and some of them might just be disappointing. Well, at the side of the iPhone 17 Air, we would get an action button as usual, but underneath there will not be any SIM tray. Yeah. No SIM trays on the iPhone 17 Air, and this is not actually because they are trying to promote eSIMs. It is actually because the iPhone 17 Air is already too slim and there is no space for an actual SIM tray. Normally, of recent, iPhone in the US regions do not get SIM tray, but iPhones in other regions like China actually get SIM trays, and some of them even support 2 SIMs. But with the iPhone 17 Air, there are not going to be any SIM trays for any regions at all. Now this one is so mind-boggling and I find it really hard to believe. You know how iPhones have one of the best speakers because they usually have stereo speakers. I mean, if you look under your iPhone, you would find speaker grills, and we also have another speaker on the front earpiece portion. Well, with the iPhone 17 Air, rumors have it that we would not be getting the speaker grill under the iPhone, so we'll just be getting one speaker, which means no more stereo speakers on the iPhone 17 Air. Why? Apple, why? Honestly, why would they sacrifice something as important as the speaker just for the iPhone to be thinner? But of course, looking at how thin this iPhone 17 Air is going to be, I think it makes some sense, and it really doesn't make sense. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. And maybe, just maybe, it could be another strategy to sell more AirPods to us, because why would you use a phone with speakers that do not sound good? Well, who knows, Apple might have developed a new technology to actually give us surround sound from the single speaker on the earpiece portion, but there's only one way to find out: when the phone comes out. Now, with such a very thin design, battery life is a very big concern. Well, the iPhone 17 Air is rumored to offer even more battery life than other iPhones, as it is rumored to use a new battery technology, most likely the silicon anode technology that we've seen on some newer Android phones. We would also get a more efficient 5G C1 modem, which Apple says is actually 25% more efficient, and all this should actually make the battery life on the iPhone 17 Air better. So would it last a full day? Of course, there's only one way to find out, and we would only find out when this phone gets released and we can actually test these phones in person. Now, to the million-dollar question: how much will this iPhone cost? Well, reports suggest that the iPhone 17 Air will be priced between $900 and $1,000. Of course, it's not cheap, but considering Apple's usual pricing, it's actually reasonable. Now, for the release date, based on what we know, it will most likely be released in September during the September launch. So if you are planning to upgrade to the iPhone 17 Air, I would suggest that you start saving right now. So what do you think about this new iPhone 17 Air? Do you think it's going to be revolutionary, or do you think it's going to be like a ticking bomb that is waiting to explode? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, feel free to save it for later and share it with your fellow friends. And as usual, stick with me and let's keep ourselves in a techly manner. Charlie Tech signing out. Cheers.